Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic for today's second video, and I am going to have a go at a pentomino Sudoku by Shai. Now Simon's recommended this one to me. I know he's had a look at it, and he kind of said, I know you like pentomino puzzles, and that's true. And I'm hoping that's all that's behind his recommendation. Now, we've done puzzles by Shai before, excellent constructor. Last time I called her he, and she wrote in to say, actually, I'm a girl, so apologies to Shai for that. Actually, worth commenting on our treatment of pronouns. Now, I'm old enough that the default pronoun for me is he and him, and it's going to be very hard for me to change that. I'm sorry. But there we go. But Shai has very politely pointed out her gender, and that's fine. Somebody wrote to us several months ago now and said they loved the channel, but they thought we should feature more puzzles by women and other underrepresented groups. And our response was actually that we think that by not caring who puzzles are coming from, we are completely non-discriminatory. All we care about is puzzle quality, and we strongly believe that we are not showing any institutional bias towards gender or any other overrepresented groups, but we might be wrong. But where we are asked to give genders, we'll do it. Where we're identifying them by names, we try that. We're often wrong. We've been wrong before now. We really are just focusing on puzzle quality. We don't care who you are, where you come from, what you do. That's up to you. Anyway, that's our philosophy, I think. And this puzzle is promising. Now, it is slightly complicated, and Simon is probably aware I'm not thrilled by a complicated rule set, but this is only because there are differences here between the types of pentomino. Now, you may know the shapes of pentomino. I will try and put them up at some point in the video in case you don't. But basically, each of these 9 pentomino shapes can appear in this puzzle, and indeed must. The whole grid, apart from the central grey cell, has to be tiled with these types of pentomino. There are placements in the grid of showing the shape, showing cells which feature in certain of the pentominoes, and pentominoes of the same shape cannot touch each other, which is fairly typical for a pentominoes puzzle. Now, as to the filling of the numbers in these, there are different rules. So L and U, L looks like this in some rotation or reflection. U looks like this, like that. Those two types are just unique sets, like a killer cage, basically. They are 5 different digits. N and T, N can look like that, and T can look like that. And these two, any digits within them that touch each other are non-consecutive. So these two cells in that T would have to be not consecutive digits. P and V are consecutive, so we could have a P like that, and every pair of digits within it would have to be consecutive digits, which is different from, very different from the non-consecutive constraint. V might look like that, for instance. We also have then W and Y. Now, W could look like that, and Y could look like that. And W and Y are, now these are all unique digits again, like L and U, but their sum must be a multiple of 3 for both W and Y. And lastly, Z, and this might be the most constrained of all. Z, each pair of consecutive digits have a difference of more than 5. Now, we've done kind of Helga's Cup type videos before with digits, orthogonal digits having differences of at least 5. More than 5 is even more constrained. So those are the rules, and apparently with this rule set we are able to populate this whole puzzle. As I say, I'm hoping to be able to include pictures of these shape types on the video, even if it at the risk of obscuring my face, which won't displease you. Now, do have a go at the puzzle on the video, on the link below the video. It's going to be worth colouring these shapes. I'm sure it's going to be interesting whatever happens. Thanks to Shai for creating it. I think it's been on Logic Masters Germany, but I'm finally going to have a go now. So let's get cracking. And how? How do we get cracking here? Right, let's have a look at these shapes. Ooh, U. That's an interesting position for a U. Okay, U could look like that, but it would hit the N, so that's no good. It could look like that, but it would cut off one cell, and that's not possible in this puzzle. So the same again for all the various side-ons. So I think it has to face, can't face down it. I'm talking about where the gap is. So it can face right. It can either do that, I think, or that. I can't see any other way this U can be. So let's try it like that. What would happen? Well, that's immediately very interesting on the L. The L would now have to be, it can't go 4 along, so it can only go 1 along. It's got to turn away from the N. The L would fit in like that. The N, yeah, the N is possible. Oh, hang on, the V would be an absolute mess now. That V would have to go like that, and the Z's impossible. So that does not work. I don't think I've missed anything there. So that U doesn't work and breaks quite quickly, like that. So I think we can place the U like that. And I think we have our first shape. Now, this cell must be connected to the L. Sorry, yellow is not a helpful colour. Let's do orange for now. Now, it can either go down like that or out here and turn up or down. But what happens if it goes down like that? Look at this space up here. How are we going to fit in a T and still have something up here? Okay, there's one way of getting the T in to allow this area to escape, and it's like that, but that would kill this P. So L does not turn down, so it must come straight across here and go up or down. Now, up would leave space for that N very happily to sit there. Then you could have a Y or L up here. They'd both be possible. No, not L actually, because that would be going up. But you could have a Y there. That's fine. Can L come down to here? The Z's now a corner. If that happens, in one of 2 possible ways, though. I can't see how that's working. No, I mean, I can't see how that's not working, is what I'm trying to say. What happens up here? Does the N have to be in that shape? No, not necessarily. It could be part of, there could be a Y up here, and then N could carry on over here. Ooh, that's tricky. Oh, I was hoping to carry on deciding from up here, but that's not really working. Let's have a look at this V, which was quite constrained. V, what's the rule on V? V is consecutive. That's interesting. Okay, this is getting interesting now. What if V, it can't stay in the box with that 8 there, because 7 and 9 could be consecutive to the 8, but what else would go in the cage? That's not possible. So it doesn't stay in one box. So it crosses a box boundary. If this is on the end of it, on the right-hand end, then it's got to turn down here to avoid that Z. That looks possible. Indeed, it would dovetail quite nicely with a potential Z. You could have 8, 7, 6. And then either 5, 4 or 7, 8. That is definitely possible, unfortunately. Now, it can't be there. Well, it could be 3 there, but the tail can't come down or up. So the tail could come down here. Oh, then you can't fit the T in any way. There's no way the T can be in. It's got to be in a 3x3 box, basically. So that's not happening. And I think the same has got to be true for that. The T is dead. Does that leave us with only this shape for V? I think it does. Yeah, I think it does. That is the V shape. And we can do some digits. We'll do a little bit of Sudoku. So 7 and 6, because you can't go up to 9 or you couldn't fill that cell. But then down here we could be going up again. This is not one of the shapes with no repeated digits necessarily. So we don't know about that. Now Z here, well, it looks like that to me, but actually that fits pretty well too. And indeed, even that would work. So I'm not making any decisions on the Z yet. But what about this Z? This has got quite constrained now. It either joins onto this cell or not. If it joins onto that cell, it does that. If it doesn't, it could do that or that. Either way, it's joining onto this one. I think that is a definite. Let's make them green. And this is having an effect on the W as well, isn't it? What can the W do? The W could go up like that, and that would be trapping in 5 cells, which would be fine. That would trap in 9, and whether or not the L turns up, that's not possible. But that would sequester 11, and if the L turned up, oh yeah, you could have a Y and an N. That is possible. But this W does have to be on the end of something, so it either goes up there or up there. And either way, I think this N is fixed. If it went up there, what was I saying? Oh, the L would turn up. Then the N would have to connect up there to let the Y out. And if it went up like that, the N must... Oh, hang on, this doesn't work. Oh no, it went up like that. That was my theory. Right, the N is up there. That is fixed as well, so we'll fill that in. It's interesting. I don't know which way to conclude on that W. Maybe I can't conclude on it yet. Now, what about this Z? Oh, hang on. I was suggesting it went down there as one possibility, and that's ridiculous. That would cut off a white cell. So it either goes up to there or up to there. It goes into box 1, whatever. Oh, but look at this. Oh no, this could be part of the L shape here. But what would the W shape do? Yeah, the W could go up there. Okay. So that is possible. Is there any reason this isn't? No, again the W goes up there. Does that mean the W does that whatever? No, because the W could... Yeah, that... Oh yes, then the L shape can turn up. I just don't know. Maybe I need to know what the L shape does. Well, what about this P? How are we going to make that a P? Could go in there. Then the Z would be forced to go up there. W, L, that's not possible because then you'd have to have a P to get out and through a Y square and touching a P. That's appalling. So that's not P. So P could come down here. Well, it could basically come away from this cell, or the only way it can go up into it is by taking all of that. Now that would leave 6, 11, 13 cells, whether or not the L turns up. That is not possible. So this P has to come down here. I'm going to mark those together. Now, does it turn... It could take that cell, in which case the Z will have to go like that. Or it might not. Well, hang on, is this possible anymore? Oh yeah, if the P went like that. But then the Y wouldn't fit in. So don't think that happens. Oh, hang on, didn't I... Hang on a second. I've just seen a possibility I thought I'd ruled out. I was saying that the P couldn't go up there because the Z... But that's fine. That would work perfectly well with L and then W. Okay, hang on with the P. Actually, I think it's much more of a problem for it going down. How can you leave the Y alone? I can't quite see what's going on there. Now, whether the L goes up or not, the Z doesn't come into here. So this is part of some other shape that we haven't identified yet. It can't be part of the L or the Z. And this has to escape through here. And therefore it's got to pick up these two cells. It's got to be a P. And I don't know if it goes there or there. That's getting interesting though. There's one more shape to go on that P. Oh, what's T going to do now? Clearly that's not possible because it hits P. That is not possible because it leaves two cells cut off. So the 3 bar of the T must be on the edge. I don't think this is possible because it leaves 4 cut off that only one of that blue P could cover. So I think the T has to be there. I think that is the only conclusion. Now that leaves that cell to be part of the P. This can't be part of the Z. It must be part of the L. And now we've got some real progress. Now, did I work out fairly that that can't be P? What would happen to Z? That would be like that. W, L. Yes, then we get a problem with P coming out in this set. Area. So that is not part of P. Does it have to be part of Z? Oh no, I suppose it could come down. Could even be L. Oh, it's so confusing. How about this cell? Do we know what that is? No, because W can still... No, it can't do that anymore because that's now the L has turned down. That's leaving 6. So now we know the W. That's there. Blue for that, I think. Right. Now, do we know more about the Z? This is the shape that's looking dubious now. But you could have a T up there and a Y. No, you definitely can't. And you're not allowed an F. Ah, I think we may have cracked this. I don't think that Z is allowable. We're not allowed an F shape, which would be like that. So with that Z in, I'm sure this shape has to connect to this cell, otherwise that can't get out. So this shape includes those 4, not that one. It would have to be a T, and that would leave a problem of a Y here, which would connect with a Y. And we can't have that. So that Z shape's wrong, and therefore this Z shape must be right. So we get another L up here. Now this looks like P. Yeah, it has to come out through P or Y, and the only way it could come out through Y would end a cell. So that's P. Oh, I've been lucky enough to be able to make shapes the same color. Now this does come out here. Oh, and this is Y. Okay, that Y can't be like that, or we would need an F pentomino, which we're not allowed. So Y is like that. Have we used Y before? No. Let's do red. I haven't done red. So this is either Z, but that would be touching Z. This is L. Doesn't quite touch this L, not orthogonally anyway. Now that clearly leaves a T shape down here. Oh, and my run of using the same coloured cells has ended there. Let's make them yellow, just for fun. There we go. So we're keeping the same colours. Now Z here, still looking like that. In fact, every other possibility for Z cuts off shapes, so that is right. What do we do for Z? Green, okay. Now we've got a P and one other shape. I'm immediately tempted by this shape, but that would leave it touching another P, so that's no good. So it can be this shape, which leaves a W, but hang on, this is symmetrical, so it could be that shape instead. I do not know what to do with that. I don't see how to resolve that at the moment. There's a W and a P. None of them are touching another W or P, so I'm just going to leave that, I think. Can't actually do anything with that. Irritating. Okay, now, numbers then. Maybe that'll get fixed when we're doing the numbers. So, where do we start with the numbers? Ah, right. P is a consecutive shape. So the 3 there must be next to a 2 or a 4 every time. And a 2 or a 4 there. That 2 or 4 has to be next to an low odd number, so that's 3 or 5. This one is 1 or 5. Can't be 3 again because it's in the box. Oh, that's quite interesting about P. Yeah, P, oh, that's useful here. P can't be in one box like that, or else you'll end up with 4 digits that can't all obey the constraint. Here it's fine because that could be a 3 again. These could be the same. In fact, can that be a 5? Yes, if those were both 4. You need a repeat. I think P has got to be that shape here. And then W, oh, I can't make that blue as well. Idiot. Anyway, there we go. W looks like that. Yeah, I think that must be right. P cannot be within a box. So 6, 7, 8 in this box can't be in those cells, so it's a little triple there. What's going on here? Unique, that's very useless. Clue, this one non-consecutive. That's not very helpful in this puzzle. I mean, it can be when it applies to a whole grid. W shape. Multiple of 3 when you add them all up. That's not at all helpful there yet. Oh, the Z shape. These are good. Right. Z has a difference of more than 5. So this one is 7, 8 or 9. It's clearly not 7. 8 or 9 there. Next along, it's got to be, even if that's 9, this has to be 3 or less. And we've had the 1. So that's 2 or 3. So again, this is 8 or 9. And again, this is 2 or 3. And we've got a 2 in the column. Ha. So 3 there, 2 there. 3 has to be next to the 9 because that's a 6 difference. If it was next to the 8, it would be breaking the rule. So we've finished that cage. And that gives us a 4 and a 5. And we've finished the L shape as well. 7 and 6 are a pair here. And that obeys the consecutive constraint for a P shape. And that's good. Right. No, I was going to say 3 in this box, in the central box, but actually I don't know what to do with that. 2, 4, 3, 5. So 9 in the central box has to be in one of those 2 cells. And therefore, up here somewhere, that's not necessarily very helpful. Yeah, I just don't know what numbers these are. Is this other Z going to be helpful immediately? This must start with 1, 7, 8 or 9. No, 1 or 9. 7 and 8 it can see, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the column. Now 1 and 9 is great, but it doesn't tell us much. The next digit has to either be 7, 8 or 9 up, or 1 or 2 down. That's not very helpful, actually. Bother. 2. Oh, 2s. Look at those. Those 2s are making this a 2 by Sudoku, since the other one can't be. So that makes this a 3. That's much more helpful. Still don't know whether this goes up to 5 or down to 1. But 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 place. This is a 4, 5 pair. This is a 1, 9 pair. Let's take out the corner mark, because I don't really need that now. 8 and 7 up here in some order. This is a unique shape, and this is a multiple of 3 shape. Those are 2 of the more useless pairs, I believe. 4, 5 and 9 in this group, and 1, 3 and 6 in that group. Is that telling us anything? Not really. I think there's just too many digits available in this W cage to make the multiplication, I mean the divisible by 3 thing, helpful. So I don't think that gets much done. But where do I turn next? Okay, this P shape. Yeah, these cells are next to a 6 or 7. So they have to be from 5, 6, 7 or 8. If this was 6 and that was 7, well, they can't be 5 and 8, but they could be 5 and 6 or 7 and 8 or 6 and 7 as far as I can see. Oh, we've got this 2. That means this can't be a 2 now. Does that help? Not really. 3, 3. One of these is a 3. Y is another multiple of 3. That's not very useful. Okay, what am I going to find next? N's a non-consecutive shape. That's not very useful. 3, 6, 7, 1, 8. Just don't know whether that's 2 or 4 at this point. It feels like it would be useful to know. One of these is a 9, which is barely helpful. Frustrating. It's the lack of interaction between shapes that seems quite unhelpful in a way in this. Where else can we find something? That's a multiple of 3. It's just too vague. I mean, these are 3 different digits, but I don't know what they are. I suppose they must be a multiple of 3 in themselves. Is that right? Yeah, that is right. Whatever these are, that's consecutive to that, which is consecutive to that. So they must be a run of 3. And whether that's 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, that's a multiple of 3. That's also a multiple of 3. And the box must be a multiple of 3. So this lone digit in the T cell must be a multiple of 3 as well. And I don't think that helps me at all. Oh, it nearly does, in that it makes... Oh no, I tell you what, maybe it does. This is either 3, 2, 1 or 3, 4, 5, a multiple of 3, be it 12 or 6. This is 6, 7, 8, which is 21, a multiple of 3. So this group must be a multiple of 3. That one's a multiple of 3. Oh, T doesn't have to be. Ah! Oh, that's so annoying. T just has to be non-consecutive. Oh, I really thought I was onto something, and I totally wasn't. This L, that is such a useless clue. How? I just need to get 1 or 2 more things resolved. Where do we go next? This U cage? I just don't think it's useful at all. Ah, these 2 have to be consecutive, don't they? Now that might be interesting. That means they can't include 1, so 1 has to be in one of these cells. I tell you what it means as well. They can't be 4, 5, or that cell could have no possible value. Therefore, they can't include 4. So the 4 in the row now has to be here. What a bizarre conclusion. We get the central cell filled as a 5. 1 is here somewhere, 2, 3, 4. We haven't got a 5 in the row, but we have placed a 4. So these are 5 and 6. That's so weird how that works out. But it places things for us. 7, 8 there, 6 there. That is so weird. Oh, that 5 has sorted out this P cage. That's a 1 and a 2 now. These 3 are 4, 5 and 9. And T is non-consecutive. So the 4 and the 5 have to be kept apart by the 9. That's lovely. So then we have 1, 2 and 3 here. This one can't be 1. And that's brilliant, because now to keep the distance of more than 5, this is the 1. Right, 1, 4, 2, 3, 7 and 8 are gone in the row. That is 9. And we are cooking with gas officially. Or possibly not officially. 4, 7, 8 there. This one is consecutive, can't be 8. But it could be 4 or 7. In fact, whichever it is, if that's 4, this is 5, that's 6. If that's 7, this is 6, that's 5. So we got another 5, 6 pair. This could, I was going to say it could be 4 or 7, but it could be 5 or 6 as well. So very unsure about that. Now, what else can we pick up here? 3, 7, 8. That's no use. 4 or 5. Oh, this can't be 6 because it's in a column with a 6. But as long as it's not consecutive to that, 9 and 3 are still possible. Nothing going on there. Oh, not so little is sorted out. Okay, that 4, at least this unique useless clue tells me that's not a 4. It's not that useless clue. Sorry, clue. It helped do something. 5 or 9 there. Don't know about that. Okay, 1. Yes, this Z clue. So 9, and then we have to have a digit that is at least 6 away from 9. Can't be a 2. So that's 1 or 3. If it was a 3, this would have to be a 9 again. So that's not possible. So that's a 1. This is now 7 or 8. This is, I was going to say 1 or 2, but obviously it's 2, and therefore that has to be 8. Those Z's really are the most helpful. Closely followed by the P's, I think. Anyway, 8, 1, 9, 1. This can't be 8, so we can place the 8 in the row. That 8 fixes 7 there and 8 there. 2, 8, 1. Just don't know about those. 8, 8. This can't be 8 because of the unique clue, which is not quite as rubbish as I'd said originally. So we can put 8 in one of those two. It's not very helpful, but it is doing something. That can't be 1. It's really picking off cells one at a time now, isn't it? Maybe there's naked singles turning up that I can't see. That's not a 1. Okay, that's getting interesting now. Can we do this divisible by 3 somehow? We've got the 7. 2 and 7 is 9, so the other 3 have to be divisible by 3. If that's 3 and 6, that's 9. That can't be 3 and 6 because that's not 1. So 1 is included here with a number that's divisible by 3. So 1 plus this have to be divisible by 3. That is a 5. Wow. Okay, that's nice. So the 1 is included there, but I don't know whether it's included with the 3 or the 6. But at least we got those done. Do they help anything? 4, this N shape, non-consecutive. And all that's telling me is this is not 3 or 5. It can't be 4, 2, 8, 7, 1, 6 or 9, which is not very helpful, I don't think. 4, 9. These can't be 4, nor can these. But 4 can repeat in the N cage, so not much use. That can't be 2 now. There must be a 1 here. Is that helpful? Don't think so. Gonna pencil mark it in just in case. These. Oh, look, 6 is right next to that. Oh God, pay attention. So it can't be 5. So we can fill in 4 and 5. Also, by the non-consecutive rule, this is now 9. That is helpful. Well, it places a 9 in one of these 2 cells. Well, at least we finished that T cage. I don't know if it feeds on. This one can't be, so 1 in the box must now be in one of these 2 cells, which puts 1 in one of those 2, interestingly, in the N shape. But the non-consecutive makes it possible for it to be in either. What about this? 5, 8, 1, 9, 3, 2. No, not very useful. Could be 4, 6, or 7. Ah, 4 though. 4 is now ruled out of there, and there, and there by the L shape. So 4 is up here somewhere in one of those 2, and therefore this is the 4 in row 3. That means these 2 are 5s. This is a 6. This is 7. Those P shapes are wonderful when you get a handle. Okay, 4 there. And as so often, everything just peters out immediately. 5 in one of those. 8 in one of those 2. 4 in one of those 2. This, in fact, is either 3 or 4. What's the T constraint? Non-consecutive. Not very helpful, as we knew that couldn't be 2, 5, 6, 7, or 4 anyway. Now it can't be 3, but it can still be 1, 8, or 9. Oh, come on, something. 1, 4, 5, 8, 2. This is made up of 3, 6, 7, or 9. So that one's 3 or 9. 4, 5, 1, 2, 9. Ah, yes, look at this cell. 4, 5, 1, 2, 9 in the row, 7, 8 in the unique cage, and 6 in the column. That is a naked single. We get a 3 there. That puts a 3 down in the W cage, but it's not a lot of use. I don't even have to calculate this W cage because I'm sure... I've got a 5 there now, sorry. So I can take 5 out of those 2 cells. But this one could still be anything from 5 to 8. So 2 and 4 have to be in this cage as well. So 2's in one of those 2 places. 4 is up here somewhere. Oh, that does fix this as not a 4, so that's a 3. So 4 goes there and 8 goes there, and that is suddenly quite significant. This is a non-consecutive... Oh, never mind the cage. Let's fill in the rest of the column. 1 and 9 there. Now, 9 in row 2 has to be here, which doesn't help with this. Yes, it does. It places the 1 in the box, which places the 4 in the box. 9, 8, 5, 1, 4, 3, 6. This could still be 2 or 7 and doesn't disobey the constraint. This can't be 1 now, though. So we've placed 1 in box 2, 3 in row 2. These are 5 and 6. That U cage is behaving. 2, 8, and 7 to go here. Oh, look, those can't be 2. So 2 is up here. This is an 8, 7 pair. This is now 6 and 3 up here. A 6, 7 pair at the top that I cannot disambiguate. Now, either 7 or 8 is in these cells. And that's interesting. It can't be 7 because that would leave these 2 being 6 and 8. So this must be 1 and 8 here, which fixes 2, 4, and 3 in the W cage. It takes 8 out of those 2. We've got a 6, 7 pair there. We've got a 7-8 pair in this column, so that's 5. That makes that 6. I was a bit nervous about this deadly pattern, but obviously the consecutive constraint fixes that. So 6 there. That 1-8 pair is actually resolved by that 8. If I could scan all the way across, it would help. 2 and 1 down here, and I think we're suddenly finished. Fantastic. What a puzzle. That's so clever, Shy. Well done. Oh, hang on. Deadly patterns. 1 left. No, there's these 2. Let's fix them first. Yeah, they're done. 6, 7, 6, 7. Ah, but the Y shape is a multiple of 3. So 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 8 and 2 is 20. This has to be a 7, and that fixes the puzzle. I mean, I love pentomino puzzles anyway. I don't know why. They're just very pretty and fun and interesting, and that is a classic. I mean, that's a slightly complicated rule set, but it really did come together nicely, so well worth doing. Thanks to Simon for recommending it. Thanks to the guy practicing with his skateboard outside for the sound effects, and hope to see you again soon on the channel. Let me just hit oh no, the check function won't work, I think, because of these added things. Let's see. No, nothing happens. So I still think I've got it right. I'm fairly confident, and it's a lovely puzzle. Well done if you did that. That's not easy. Thanks very much for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.